I gotta be going now, I think.
Brewster, here I am sitting over here on the couch and inviting you to do, well, who knows what. And you just sit there and say, oh no, I've got to go home. Oh, what's wrong with you? I mean, why else would you be here?
You never took acting lessons, never studied acting, you just one day started acting, right?
I wasn't going to be an actress. I was 20 years old and still living in Houston, Texas, and I had a party one evening, and it wasn't unusual for people to come to the party that I didn't know. So these three gentlemen walked in, and I went on showing my boyfriend's paintings, hoping to sell some of them. You know? One of the gentlemen said, we have some patrons of the arts for friends, and would you please bring the paintings up Wednesday at 1 o'clock to our office? And I brought 35 paintings up. I lugged them upstairs and went through the whole spiel, you know, what the artist was thinking. Instead of saying, I want that painting and that painting and that painting, they said, how would you like to be in a movie? I couldn't believe it. I said, I'm not an actress. And they said, yes, you are. And I said, no, I'm not. So by the time we got through arguing, they had my telephone number, and we became friends over the next month. And then we started shooting.
What were the movie people doing in Houston?
Robert Altman was about to shoot Brewster McCloud, which wound up being my first movie and first acting job ever. I was going to be a scientist, a la Miss Einstein.
Really? How far along had you gotten in your studies? You're in college at this point, in high school?
2 years in junior college.
Do you still do any of this? Do you know anything about this now? Have you forgotten it all?
No, I subscribe to just about every scientific publication there is. When I have time to read it, I read it. And it wasn't until I finished my third picture, which was also with Bob, it wasn't until then that I had it in my blood and I knew that that's what I wanted to do.
The average celebrity meets in 1 year 10 times the amount of people that the average person meets in his entire life.
What was the most difficult piece of acting you had to do in The Shining?
Whew. I think it was just stamina. My stamina has increased so much since The Shining. I mean, you really have to be strong for an entire day because the role required me to cry all day long, every day, and it was so difficult being hysterical for that length of time. Hey, wasn't it around here that the Donner Party got snowbound?
I think that was farther west in the Sierras.
What was the Donner Party?
So how do you look back on that film? I mean, are you pleased to have done it?
I resented Stanley at times because he pushed me.
Oh, come on. What do you mean roll video?
Seconds.
We're killing ourselves out here, and you've got to be ready.
I am too. I'm standing
So we
right
play
by
mood
the
music?
door. No, I can't
Yeah, but when you
hear.
came in like this, you said, just
We're sitting there because they say, wait a minute,
okay.
and then you say
Yeah,
on the radio,
but when you
go.
do it, you've got to look desperate, Shelley. You're just wasting everybody's time now.
If it hadn't been for that, you know, volley of ideas and sometimes butting of heads together, it wouldn't have come out as good as it did. And it also helps get the emotion up and the concentration up because it builds up anger, actually, and you get more out of yourself. And he knew that, and he knew he was getting more out of me by doing that. You always dislike whatever the cause is of pain. And it hurt. And I resented him for it. I thought, why do you want to do this to me? How can you do this to me?
It seemed to me at times that the end justified the means.
Look at this. Pulled all my hair. I pulled hunks of hair out on the windowsill.
Hunks of hair.
Oh, look.
Okay.
It just comes out. You know, you agonize over it. And it's just the necessary turmoil to get out of it what you want out of it. I mean, we had the same end in mind. It was just that sometimes we differed in our means. And by the end, the means met. And I find I really respect him and really like him. He's taught me more than I've learned on all the other pictures I've done within 1 year's time on one picture.
There's all secrets like that Kubrick hid in that movie. It's enough to make your head spin, for sure.
It is.
This is a big deal. This is the entire collection of Shelley Duvall's fairy tale theater. This, I believe, came out in 1982, which was the year I was born.
Oh, my God. Oh, my gosh.
We've been talking about The Shining a lot. The reason I ever watched The Shining is because you were in it.
Oh, my gosh.
There's people that are so influential to you as a youth that you, whenever you see them in something, you're like, oh, my God, I can't believe that's such and such. Well, I'm going to watch it because I love them. That's the kind of effect you guys have on our lives. We carry you with us all throughout our years.
Thank you.
And it's a big deal. And I just wanted you to know what that meant to me. I know I'm not alone. And in telling you this, I think a lot of people share the same experiences, and we love you so much.
Thanks.
You mean so much to so many of us, and when we all heard that you were rejoining acting again, it made a tidal wave in the community, because everyone went, are you kidding? Shelley Duvall is acting again? This is big news. Sometimes I don't think that our favorite celebrities get to really hear the impact you've made and how much love we've carried with you through. I'm 40 and I've been loving you since I was a little girl. You know, we talk about this a lot recently with Brandon Fraser. He had left acting for a long time due to his treatment in Hollywood, but he still had such a massively supportive fan base, and he had no idea. And we're all just always rooting for him and wanting him to come back, you know, because we love him so much still. And the same with you, is that we all are still here supporting you, and we're so happy to see you back on our screens.
Thank you for spending the day with us.
You're welcome.